Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back. So generally speaking, I wouldn't create an entire video going over a single monster reveal, but I think in this case we actually have a special circumstance. For those of you that don't know, the Coromon team hosted a fan design contest, and recently we received the winner being created by Rachel Briggs, that being Bittybolt, an electric type cat Coromon. Now there are two main reasons I decided to make an entire video about this Coromon, one being that it's probably one of, if not my favorite Coromon designs so far, and I really do hope that it does get evolutions that expand on this concept, with of course Rachel being the one designing them. And number two, because of the fact that a lot of people have been trying to insinuate that the Coromon is nothing more than Kotara, one of the scrapped Pokemon designs, and we're going to talk about how that's not the case and something super ironic about this whole situation. Also, we're going to break down the different inspirations for the Coromon itself, as well as its different variants. A lot of the information I am going to be going over is right from Rachel Briggs herself. I did have a conversation with her on Twitter. You should definitely follow her, by the way. She's an extremely talented artist and has worked on several monster taming projects. That said, let's dive in. Okay, so for those that don't know, Kotara is known as an unreleased Pokemon present in both Red and Blue and Gold and Silver's beta demos, both of which came with a slew of cut Pokemon and previously unaltered designs that really made a buzz in the community. And I'm personally someone who loves scrapped content, and honestly, I think it'd be really fun to do a scrap Pokemon video at some point, since ranging from the early capsule monster days to now, there are a ton. But anyway, Kotara is one of those Pokemon that appeared in two separate early builds, but unfortunately never ended up making it into a Pokemon game, which is quite sad in my opinion. Now, conversely, the recent Bittybolt design does bear a resemblance for sure, but it goes a lot deeper than what could be considered similarities at a first glance. In order to understand these nuances, we'll have to step back for a second and talk about Kotara and Rachel again. So a while back, when Kotara was originally showcased, Rachel had mentioned how it resembles her cat on Twitter. This cat named Bit is going to be extremely important moving forward, so this is what Rachel had to say about her reaction to the reveal of Kotara. Everyone who has ever seen Bit agrees that she's perfect. So when the Space World leak dropped and there was a Pokemon that was literally Bit, I cried. Instant new top favorite design, and it was one we'll probably never get for real. Then finding that it was also a Gen 1 reject as well, and almost certainly designed by Nishida for the same niche as Pikachu, it totally crushed me. It felt so bad knowing that in some alternate universe I could have been collecting Bit merch for the last 25 years. It's also a very interesting design, as it appears to be a stealth object mon with extremely similar Dory bells based on the Zodiac Tiger, the round shape, and the bolt being where the bell crack is. Okay, so how do these two images come into play here? Well, I've seen so many people try to argue that they're basically the exact same thing, which they're not. You can see clear differences in the fur patterns, the tail, the body shape, the cheeks, etc. But these styles are similar between these two images, aren't they? Well, that's because the person who designed this concept art for Kotara is Rachel Briggs. This is one of the reasons I find this situation so funny. It's because people have jumped on the, oh, it's a Pokemon ripoff narrative so heavily, when in reality, there is no official concept art for Kotara. The most commonly used art is in fact this one here that the Bittybolt designer made herself. When creating a concept art from a sprite, there are tons of creative liberties that have to be taken, and what do you know, since this Pokemon to Rachel was the physical embodiment of her cat, she designed the concept piece accordingly. Furthermore, as was mentioned in a tweet, this is actually a common way that cats are designed in Japan and not exclusive to Pokemon by any means. Look at these images here. To say that they all just happen to be ripping off the Pokemon beta design is absurd. I think this, coupled with the fact that Rachel literally designed the concept art for Kotara that's most commonly used, is enough to put this matter to rest. Yes, they look similar, but ultimately they're two different monsters despite these similarities, and I have a feeling that Pokemon actually did drop Kotara because, number one, Pikachu kind of fills the same role it does, and number two, they might be considered generic in Japan given the previously showcased yellow cat pictures. My thing with this whole situation is I love the design, and the fact that it looks like a scrapped Pokemon is a bonus, as we'll likely never get to play Kotara in an official format anyway. Now onto its various forms. We have insight as to the different color palettes behind each rarity, and I'm going to quote Rachel's message here. The standard color is just tiger colors. Potent is bit colored, aka her cat, or a golden tiger. I did this because I could reasonably see myself hunting down a Potent, but not having the patience to look for a Perfect, which on a side note is hilarious because if I were designing something like that, my thought process would be exactly the same. And Perfect is a reference to Byakko, I apologize if I mispronounced that, the mythical white tiger. I suppose the main takeaway of this video is that, much like we shouldn't be throwing the Pokemon clone accusations at any monster taming game, it's important to educate ourselves about monster taming designs as well before making similar accusations. A lot of Pokemon are based off of real-world animals, myths, etc., and they don't own those concepts. For example, any monster based off of the Loch Ness Monster would not be a ripoff of Lapras. Now, all of that said, if you do want to stay up to date on Coromon and general monster taming developments, definitely make sure to subscribe to this channel because I upload new monster taming content every single day. You can also check out my Twitter and Discord linked down below, and I just want to say special thanks to Rachel. As stated before, definitely check out their Twitter. It'll be linked below. Also, thank you so much to the patrons supporting the channel, especially our mythical backers, StealCase and Jim Hamilton. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.